Hey everybody, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make an envelope flap card inspired by Lisa Curcio. So here is the example I'm going to follow, and it opens like that and then all the way. So it's two pieces of cardstock, and the envelope flap just tucks under your focal point. You can see the back side here is the second piece. So I'm going to show you how to put it together. First, we're going to get a regular piece of cardstock, and we're going to cut it right in half at 5.5. So you have two pieces. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Two pieces at 5.5 by 8.5. So this is our normal card base. So I'm going to score it at 4.25. Okay, and just set that aside. And now I need, from this other half that I cut, a piece that is 3.5 by 5.5. So this is already 5.5. So I want to make sure I've got my measurements right. Yep, 3.5. Okay, just cut that off. Now leave it this way, and we're going to line up our cardstock in the trimmer so we can score it. Sorry, I'm looking at my template because I can't remember. Oh, okay. So we're going to score this at 3.25. So I'm going to line it up over here on this side because it's easier. So 3.25 and score right here. Okay. Then we're going to measure at, from this side, 1 3/4. So I'm going to scoot that over to 1 3/4. And I'm going to use my little bone folder and make a tick mark there and a tick mark here. So there's one at each end. Then we're going to turn our paper to 2 3/4 and make a tick mark here. Now if you can see it, I'm going to try to do it so you can see it. You have 1, 2, 3. 3 marks there, you can see it. And we're going to cut from mark 1 to here and here to here to make our envelope flap. So I'm going to place this in the track and this in the track. Now I have this Fiskars cutter, so I have a wire here that I can see. And I've got my two marks lined up, and I'm going to trim that off. Okay, then we're going to turn it, and we're going to put the same middle and now that end in the track. Cut that off. And here's my envelope. Now you can leave it plain, or you can emboss it, dry emboss it. So just fold that. I haven't tried making a piece of paper that fits this yet, but I guess you probably could. It might take a little bit of trimming and back and forth, but it wouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so now we folded all of our pieces. And now we need the DSP. So I've got this piece. Well, let's see. I'll use these two pieces. So we just need two pieces for, let me cut this down, 4 by 5.25, which is your typical layer. And I don't want my flowers to go sideways, so I'm going to use this piece. 5.25. So I need 2 of those, and I need a piece of white. And I'm pretty sure this is already cut. Yep, because I have a stack. I have a stack of white that I keep on my desk. And I'm going to use this piece since it's here. I'm going to cut that to 4. That's not on your measurement list, but these little strips, I find it hard to use sometimes, so I'm just going to use it and put it on my white piece of paper. Okay, so now you've got your white and your 2 pieces of designer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my accent. And I don't know what size it is. I just know it's 4 inches wide. So you just use whatever scrap you have in your pack if you want to decorate the white piece. I'll put that aside. And I'll get these 2. Now, the key thing is, remember, we usually open our cards like this, left to right. Well, my flap is my left open, so I'm going to flip my card over so it opens this way. So this is the front. So I'm going to go ahead and glue a piece here so I remember, because sometimes I get caught up in what I'm doing and I forget which way is which. So I'm going to place my DSP on the front so I know it. Then I'm going to go ahead and open the card, and I can put my paper on the inside. Okay. And this too. Okay, now we're going to close the card so we see the front, and we're going to use glue right here. So let me go ahead and dry emboss this, just because it makes it easier to fold if you emboss it, I think. So I'm going to use this, I've already forgot the name of it, Stone and Vine. So I'm going to place my flap inside the folder, like this. It really doesn't matter if you emboss this. You'll just see it on the back. I'll go ahead and do that so you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to turn around and do that real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Now I have this. Isn't that beautiful? Stone and Vine. You know, I have a purple sponge here. I'm going to sponge it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of, so you can see it a little bit easier. I already had purple ink on it because I used it a minute ago for something else. It's Highland Heather. It's the same color as the paper. It makes a pretty good difference. It's hard to tell on camera, but you can see it in person. So here's my fold that I scored a bit earlier, right? And give that a good crease. So now, here's my fold. I recommend liquid glue because you have your chance to move it around if you need to and line it up. Tear and tape would be work well too, but there's not as forgiving time period like the glue does, and I'm not perfect when I line up stuff and I got to move it. So here's your card, and we're going to tuck it right up against the flap. Make sure it's flush. I fold it down, and I haven't pressed the back yet, not completely, and I'm going to make sure that it's even at the top, because more people will notice the top. It's only like this at the bottom because I've embossed it, and it took up some of my space. I don't mind that at all. Not at all. So now that I'm happy with the placement, I can press that down. And we're going to make sure that all that glue gets wiped off. Okay. So here's your card. The front. Open the flap. Open that. And close. And I have a die cut already done, and I used the new Scalped Wishes bundle to make this little die cut. So we're going to put that here. This is our closure, if you will. So we only need dimensionals on this side. So I'm going to flip it over like that so I remember which side is which, because I start talking and get confused about what I'm doing. So here's one there, and we'll put a little bit here, not too far over because we want to be able to pick it up and tuck it. So I think I might try to move this. Move it over just a little bit to the right. So all this can get pulled up when we tuck the envelope flap. So I'm going to place it close to the edge over here. Make sure it's straight and then press. And then that comes open. That's all you got to do. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you make a bunch of them. They're very easy. Bye.